My name is Sharon Gold-Steinberg. I am a clinical psychologist. I've been in private practice for over 3 decades in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And when I learned about parts work, it transformed my practice, especially with trauma survivors. Things would confuse me before if a client kind of presented in one way at one day and a very different way the next, or I was getting stuck with interventions that I thought were great were falling flat or were accepted and then rejected. And when I came to understand through Janina Fisher's explication of the structural dissociation theory that under enough early trauma, our parts of self fragment. Suddenly, things that were confusing became coherent. Suddenly, things that led my clients to feel ashamed, I was able to bring more hope into the treatment. And it really supported a strength based approach that I love. So I'm excited to participate in this training with my friend and colleague here, Sarah Stein, with the SOAP, Strength of All Parts project, to bring you information in this video about how to apply these concepts in your clinical work.
Thanks, Sharon. I'm really excited about this course because it gives a really easy to understand introduction to a trauma-informed parts model for treatment. In the first part of the training, you'll gain an understanding of what it means to have parts in the context of trauma, how parts help people to survive and thus must be understood to be resources and not pathology, and how this framework can fundamentally change our therapy practice. We break down the strengths of all parts chart, beginning to understand what fight, flight, freeze, submit, and attach all mean. And we do so through the use of illustrations, story, and clinical case examples to help make these concepts come to life. In the second part of the training, you'll be introduced to how to do treatment using the strengths of all parts chart through fostering a client's wise self. We explore together basic tenets of trauma treatment and how parts can transform and continue to serve a client today as a resource when they feel safe, understood, and supported by the wise self. And Sharon adds an even kind of extra special experiential piece to this training. Sharon, would you like to tell them a little bit about your piece of the training?
Sure. So the video begins with about 25 minutes of my leading you through a parts-based mindfulness meditation to get in touch with your own parts and with an emphasis on their strengths. And in this work, Sarah also integrates the teachings of Richard Schwartz, who emphasizes we all have parts of self. We are all best understood as a multiplicity of self. So we offer this meditative experience to help you be in touch with your own parts, have compassion for them, get into a nurtured resource place also to welcome learning. And in that, I hope maybe I've demonstrated some skills of ways you might bring some of this language and resourcing to your clients at moments where it helps them to reflect on a part of self or to resource a part of self. And Sarah, maybe you can also say what else comes with this video?
With the purchase of the video course, the on-demand video course, which you can watch several times, a great way to integrate the information. You will receive a PDF version, an electronic version of the chart, which is just so useful in these times that many of us are doing clinical work remotely, virtually, to be able to screen share and to really kind of delve into the chart.
And I should say we are so honored that this training is an adaptation of Janina Fisher's work with her kind permission, and you also integrate these beautiful illustrations by Tom Holmes, another author who writes about parts work and teaches. And I want to share with the audience that you, Sarah, are both a clinical social worker yourself and a researcher in a doctoral training program. And you do a beautiful job of bridging the academic worlds and the clinical world. And in the way you teach, you offer the kind of psychoeducation that you also are teaching people to offer their clients in the clinical setting. And so you make the learning really accessible and fun and engaging with both words and images and videos that are really fun. It's been an honor to, I know, for both of us who integrate this work in our practices, to bring together things from so many other wise people. and to have an
Absolutely.
opportunity to share it more with a real emphasis that you bring, highlighting the strengths of all
Yes.
parts.
We hope you'll join us. It's just been a pleasure.